Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Champions 100 here at the Iowa Speedway for the finale of the Dr. Pepper Dash series. We're here at Iowa for the final race on the DPDS schedule. Yesterday, in the Molson Modified season finale here at Iowa, it was Kyle Bisceglia who took home the race victory, while Hayden Mears, second-generation driver in the NSDCA, took home the title. Today, we have really 3 drivers vying for the championship. Meanwhile, about 7 are mathematically eligible, and we'll go through all 7 of those in this pre-race. Kyle Vaughters, though, starts on pole. Alongside him is Roberto Crown Jr. You got Ricky Freeman, and there is your points leader entering this race. Riley Wilkin rolls off 4th. He has a 2-point lead over the 16 of Daniel Bouchard, who qualified 23rd. Bouchard will have to make up a ton of time in 50 laps to get himself into victory lane. The driver who won the Molson Modified race yesterday, that's Kyle Bisceglia. He rolls off in the 5th position for Maverick Motorsports. This 66 team is looking to get themselves into victory lane. However, they are 18 points behind Riley Wilkin. If they want to win today, Wilkin would have to finish out of the top 10 with the Bisceglia race win. As well, mathematically still in this, you got Glenn Mixon, KT Larson. Larson starts this race in 9th. Glenn Mixon, 26th in the 68 car. Mixon, 38 points back. Larson, 39 back. Nelson Reeves in the 99. He rolls off 8th. He is 42 points back. And your Molson Modified champ, Hayden Mears, is still mathematically eligible for it in the 64. He rolls off pretty far back, 25th. 42 points back. Everyone else is pretty much not able to win this title, so we have about 3 drivers really we're going to watch unless something major happens to both Wilkin and Bisceglia, or Bouchard, I should say. Let's go ahead down track side for the commands to fire the engines here at Iowa.
Drivers, start your engines!
With that, the field of 30 is ready for these 50 laps here at Iowa. It's going to be a bit of a longer race this season. 50 laps is a pretty long time, so you got a lot of action ready to go racing here at Iowa. Vaughters for Auto looking to get himself into victory lane. I believe he is returning to this car next season. You got Ricky Freeman Jr. sitting 3rd. He DNQ'd the Molson Modified race. He'll be rolling off up here. But you got 30 cars. 1 car to point out, an extra Team Mirdo entry this weekend. It's Louis Gilbert Dumotier in the O2. The Frenchman driver, he rolls off in the 14th position for the O2 car for Mirdo, Team Mirdo, as he qualified 3 spots better than team owner Benedict Mirdo III. Sits 13th in points as they enter. Everyone's still fighting to get as far as they can up the order, but you have 3 drivers and possibly 7 fighting for a title. Vaughters and Crown Jr. lead us down. Green flags in the air, and we're racing at Iowa. Crown Jr. already up wide real quick as Wilkin's going to be the one jumping to the bottom. Now that's what Bisceglia wants to see. He needs to stay ahead of Wilkin and gain a big amount of time to be able to be the one up there, but it will be Kyle Vaughters leading lap 1 here at Iowa as they rush down this straightaway. On the track cam there as all 30 cars come flying down into turn number 1 there. Kyle Bisceglia already moving himself up to the 3rd position, as now you got the 46, that's Stephen Colin in the 46, fighting Riley Wilkin, as Wilkin's going to throw it 3 wide. He does not want to lose too much time on the outside. It could cost him big, as Crown Jr. is going to bounce off the wall. Colin bounces into the back of him, and Wilkin's already dropped a handful of spots now. You can get 52 points if you win the race, lead the most laps. That's what Bisceglia is doing right now. If so, that means Wilkin would have to finish 6th or better to clinch the title if Bisceglia wins the race. However, you lose 3 points just by not winning the race and an extra 2 all the way back to 15th per position. So Bisceglia really needs these spots. If he does not win this race with max points, he needs to finish at least 9 spots ahead of Riley Wilkin. However, these two both have the same amount of race wins, 1 win apiece. So if Bisceglia does not win and they tie, it'll come down to average finish, which could be boosted because Bisceglia would have to have at least 9 spots or better than Riley Wilkin to win the title. KT Larson up to 4th. As we said, she's only 39 back. That's a pretty big margin. Really, Wilkin just has to finish top 20 to prevent anyone outside of Bisceglia and Bouchard from winning the title. So Larson's doing her best as she goes for third. Ricky Freeman Jr. has taken the race lead in the 9. He is your last race winner. He won at that would have been DuQuoin, the dirt race, last time out. There's Nelson Reeves picking spots up. There's Wilkin again in the 23. Now we're looking back. Where is Daniel Bouchard? And that 16 car has not gained much. He's only 24th and actually losing time as he's going to lose the spot to Glenn Mixon. You also got Rafael LaDuca in there in the 78. Rest of the field through there. There's Joey Michaels back there. Side by side for third is now Lou Vier's going after KT Larson. You got Wilkin versus Bisceglia down the front straightaway there as Kirsten Martinez in the 94 watches on from behind it. CFRO announcing they will not be returning to the NSDCA next season. That team splintering up, so this will be the last ride for Kirsten Martinez and the 94 car in the DPDS under the CFRO banner. Riley Wilkins doing whatever he needs to for this title, though. He leads right now the points by a pretty good margin over Bouchard. Bisceglia would actually be ahead of Daniel Bouchard in points, so Bisceglia would be your runner-up in the title right now, which I'm sure even with Maverick Motorsports, they'd be very excited to see that. Bisceglia has been a two-time winner in the lower series this year, won the Molson Modified race yesterday, and he won a race earlier this season in the DPDS. But it's Riley Wilkin out in front of the championship fight as Vaughters has taken the lead, but KT Larson now joining them as they come down the back straightaway. Here comes the 777 right after them with Chris Louvier. Ricky Freeman Jr. side by side for third. And look at the power move that Freeman Jr. got on the outside there. Nice run by the 9 car. So he's going to jump himself up to that third position. Again, KT Larson out in front of these guys, though. Just chasing down now Kyle Vaughters, who sat on pole for this event. And there is Bouchard. He's now 30th, so you can't go too much further back than this. He only has 40 laps to go, 39 to go that time by. And at a track like Iowa, it's so fast, you really just need a miracle to happen at this point. You're running out of time quickly in that 16 to gain as many spots as he does, because you look at the pack that he has right in front of him. There you see Mixon and Mears at the back, too. Those two are not working about it, and there goes Felix Janssen being spun down the front straightaway by Richard Herman. And that'll bring the first caution, so that's going to shake up everything, and now Bouchard's going to have to race back, or is going to lose some green flag time, I should say, as KT Larson's looking for that top spot on Kyle Vaughters. This is going to be a drag race coming to the line here, and Kyle Vaughters is going to lead that lap, so Vaughters continues to lead laps. And there is Bisceglia back there in 9th, Riley Wilkin up here in the 4th position as they run. But Felix Janssen goes around on the front stretch. We'll get a quick replay, bring you guys back to the action here at Iowa. So Janssen's really just in the middle of all this. You see Mirdo on the inside, Bisceglia on the outside. Now they're 3 wide. Then Mirdo hits Janssen up into Bisceglia. They slide around, and that's where Herman gets a piece of it. But really not too much damage to any of the cars. A simple spin down the front straightaway. Everyone kept it off of Janssen. We'll bring you guys back to the action here at Iowa. Back live here at the Champions 100 as we're rolling down this front straightaway, getting ready to go back racing. Vaughters leads over KT Larson, Chris Louvier, Riley Wilkin, and Kirsten Martinez. Ricky Freeman Jr., Nelson Reeves, Stephen Colin, Kyle Bisceglia, Benedict Mirdo III, and Colton Jacobs. Well, that's your top 10 is Mirdo. Then Colton Jacobs, Richard Herman. For Janssen spinning across the line, he gets that position, so he is back up to 13th, even though that car spun around. DJ Reed 14th, Louis Gilbert Dumotier in 15th. 16th is Roberto Crown Jr., who started on the front row. 17th, Alex Parkers. 18th, Zachary Bilson. 19th, Mixon. 20th, Parrish. Hayden Mears, 22nd. Daniel Bouchard, 29th. So, still a long way left in this race to go. We'll see who will come out on top here at the end of the season. We've had 6 different winners this year, with only Oliver Kingley being the only repeat winner. As it stands inside the top 5, we would have no repeat winners except for Riley Wilkins sitting in 4th. Coming down the front straightaway, Vaughters leads us back down. Green flags back in the air. Nice and calm through turns 1 and 2, but Larson's already making a nose to the inside, and that's 777 as they go down the back. There is Wilkin in 4th, and Really what you're looking at is if Bouchard's that far back and Wilkins this far up, it's going to be a locked-in championship for him as he now goes after his teammate Larson for the race lead here, now down into turn number 1 as he gets real up the track a bit. That's going to allow Martinez to get a nose to the inside as Larson goes at it. But Wilkin right now, I would not try to jeopardize what you're doing for a race win. Bisceglia is pretty far behind, and he still needs a lot of spots on you. And if Bouchard's at the back, what it comes down to is, let's say something happens to the 23 and Bouchard moves himself through the field, just a couple spots. It's only a 2-point swing between them. Now, Bouchard doesn't have a race win, so he needs to be probably 3 spots ahead unless you're in the top 15. So really what you're looking at for Daniel Bouchard right now is finish at least 3 spots ahead of Wilkin no matter what, and you got the title. But that's really hard to do because Wilkin is now leading the race in that 23 car as he has taken the lead away from his teammate KT Larson, and I'm sure that's going to be a bit of a defense there now, having your teammate behind you holding off the Onge the Adkins Racing team. I think that the former Adkins Racing team, that's now Thunderbird Motorsports, the 00. Kirsten Martinez, Ricky Freeman Jr., and there's Reeves. Reeves still has a shot at this title if and only if the 23 blows up and smacks the wall. But Reeves is still running pretty strongly up here. He'd have to beat Bisceglia for it, but Bisceglia is now starting to drop back in that 66. And there you see all 30 cars making it down this front straightaway as they go. Now, Janssen, you can't change tires in the DPDS. Well, technically you can, but no one really does. So Janssen's on those old tires that were spun out, so we'll see if that 5 can hang on at all. Here comes Kyle Bisceglia in the 62, and there's Motier in the 02 looking to the inside. Could be 3 wide. This is his debut event in the DPDS as he ran partial schedule in the Wilson Modified this year, joining pretty late. But there's your championship leader, Riley Wilkin, out in front in the 23. Now, last season in the MMS race, he was leading the championship fight until an incident happened, and it took him out of the title. And now you got KT Larson all over the back of him, and we'll see what Katie wants to do. In that 777, she has never won an NSDCA race. It's been 2 years of her career. See what she can do as she is chasing Wilkin down steadily. You got Vaughters, never won. So the 2nd, 3rd, 4th have never won an NSDCA event. Wilkin and Freeman have both won a race this year. There you see Reeves in the 99. Now Reeves, I'm not. It's short track races, so I'm not trying to say anything, but if you get up there and move the 23 a little aggressively, that could end up giving you a title there for the 99. As Bisceglia has now dropped very far back. It looks like probably outside the top 15. DJ Reed's going to get a piece of the wall. Stephen Colin has some heavy right side damage to that 46 car. Oh my. I don't know what happened there, but he has lost a ton of time. And Bouchard not gaining a ton of time. That 16 not handling well here at Iowa. And out in front, it's all Riley Wilkin in the 23. Leading this race, leading the field, and we are over the halfway point. I think, barring nothing else, it might just be a walk-off race win and a championship for the Henson Racing number 23 team. Of course, KT Larson was partial ownership in the team. She will not be continuing that into next year as she moves actually over to Monster Motorsports, who is revamping their MDCS program and not leaving it just to NBM. So we'll see what Katie can do in the iconic number 77. As there you see Nelson Reeves now up to the 4th position, but now fighting Louvier for it. See what they do. It's the Rabobank 23 of Riley Wilkin pacing the field. This is as clean as you can be out on your own. You got your teammate behind you working some defense. And I think this could be just a open and shut case right here for the title because, again, with Bouchard back here now, he hasn't made a move into the top 20 all race long. This 16 car is not strong. And the 66 has dropped back now as he makes the move up to 12th. But still, he'd need Wilkin to finish at least 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th if he gets into the top 5. Now you see Louvier is going to get to the inside of Vaughters, so they're dispatching the Onge 44. And with 20 to go, Katie Larson is chasing down Riley Wilkin with a big run here in the 777. Those two are off to the races on their own. There they head into turn number 3. Katie's going to get to the inside. He's going to take that lead away from Riley Wilkins, so that loses Wilkin 3 points. But now, remember, Wilkin has laps led, so that's an extra point he has over the rest of his competition, as they're still side by side, and Wilkin's going to power off on the outside. Now you see Nelson Reeves. He's fighting his best for a championship. Couldn't win the Molson Modified title. That 46 car just really fell away at the end of that race, as Larson is all over the back of Wilkin right now. Of course, Wilkin leading the points coming into this. Larson 5th, so a great year for this team nonetheless. And still, technically, KT Larson could still win this title as well. Out in front of everyone else. And easily ahead of Bisceglia right now. Bisceglia is not in the top 10. That's about a 20-point swing between them. So, you know, KT, we'll see. We'll see if she tries to win this title. But again, you know, what you pretty much have to do at this point is wreck the 23 or have an issue with the 23, because he can't even be passed right now. He is fighting tooth and nail on that outside, as we're seeing a fantastic battle for the race lead. But as it stands right now, I mean, I don't see anyone getting past this 23 of Wilkin for the championship. Bouchard's too far behind. Bisceglia doesn't have enough time to shuffle the 23 back, and it's just a fantastic race right now for him. Battle for third heating up is Richard Herman, who got in that incident earlier. Felix Janssen, through really no fault of his own, is in the top 5. Look at Motier up to 7th in the O2. Bring Alex Barker up here. A great day for Team Mirdo there in that O2 car. As Vaughters is now fallen out of the top 10. Bisceglia has made his way back in the top 10. Vaughters is 10th. Janssen slowly dropping. Bouchard's back there fighting the 46. 3 cars away from being last. And now with 13 to go this time by, I think it's a done deal. 23 of Wilkin. He just has to keep it clean and bring it to the end, as he's pulled back away from KT Larson. Ricky Freeman Jr. 3rd, Richard Herman 4th, Kirsten Martinez 5th. 6th is Reeves, 7th Motier, 8th Parker, 9th Bisceglia, 10th Kyle Vaughters. Will Parrish, Roberto Crown Jr., Colton Jacobs, Chris Louviere, Benedict Mirdo III, Oliver Kingley, 2-time winner this year, Hayden Mears, your MMS champion. I believe that is O'Reilly, in the 92. Felix Janssen, Tony Wallen, Zachary Bilson, Mathis Wells, Glenn Mixon, Joey Michaels, Ikna Commit, Devin Fair, DJ Reed, Stephen Colin, Daniel Bouchard, Raphael Leduc. That's your 30 drivers in the finale race here. And as now Wilkin has jumped out to a 2nd lead. Looks like this race is, you know, there's still a chance for a caution. We're not going to say that yet, as Motier is making a move on Herman and Martinez, looking for a top 5 in his debut event. There was another one-off driver entered in this race. It was Aiden Smith for Ronnie Hank Racing. That team did not make the race, as Aiden failed to qualify the 95 car. Martinez now shuffled out very wide, as we got the battle heating up between the 2 KCM guys. So it's Henson Racing leading KCM, and then you got the Gemini and Team Mirdo cars 5th and 6th, holding off a pack of hard chargers. And the hard charger today, Riley Wilkin, 8 laps to go. Off to the races from Katie Larson. And he is going to show that this year is his. I don't think we've had 2 repeat winners in the DPDS in a long time, if ever. Usually it's been one winner. One winner gets 2 wins, and that's about it. There's only so much you can do in 8 races anyway. It's not too big, especially with these spec cars. So Wilkin, he's going Mountain Dew Custom Series racing next year. Going up to the MDCS, I believe, for Henson Racing. I don't know if it's in the 23 or their new equipment or what, but he will be full-time there, so he'll still be fighting KT Larson in that ride. Nelson Reeves is actually going full-time for Coors Light Racing this year, next year. If you've seen that in the DPDS, he's a strong car. Motier in the O2. No words on his plans yet, but I think this race right now, about to possibly pass Nelson Reeves for 3rd. I think that is big for the free agency market next year with the O2. Ricky Freeman Jr. getting the call up to KCM in the MDCS. Will Parrish, not known what he'll be doing. Richard Herman is actually moving to Evernham to replace Jeffrey Finguy. pretty sure Vaughters is returning to DPDS. Bisceglia is also going MDCS racing, and so is Alex Parker, while Martinez will be running a double duty with both of the lower series next year. 2.23 seconds between Wilkin and Larson, as Larson's now going to try to hold off Nelson Reeves in the 99. Motier trying to hang on to a top 5 over Ricky Freeman Jr. Down the front straightaway, 4 to go here at Iowa. Battle for second starting to heat up as here comes Reeves to the inside. He will get clear of Katie Larson. Battle for fourth continuing on back there as Motier is trying to hang on and win this one, or not win this one, but hang on. And there's Felix Janssen. I guess that those tires have really slowed that 5 down because he's now slowing up Riley Wilkin. You got to watch there, and Janssen's going to be passed right there too, so that is good for Felix. Now in the DPDS, there is no wave around rule, no lucky free pass, no Fago free pass, and lappers do not go to the rear of the field, so even with a restart, Wilkin now has a buffer. Rest of the field's right there. Bouchard was leading the championship for most of the season. In the last 2 races, it unraveled for him. He will not be your champion this year. Neither will Mixon, Mears, Bisceglia, who is just kind of fallen out of the top 10. Freeman and Motier fighting. And on the white flag for Riley Wilkin in the 23. Henson Racing with KT Larson. Their final race is a partnership together in the DPDS, and it's going to bear fruit. He almost won the title last year. Could have been a multi-series champion. He's going to have to settle just for the DPDS this year because Wilkin, in dominant fashion, wins at Iowa and wins the title. KT Larson takes second, and that will complete a 1-2 sweep for Henson Racing. That will give Riley Wilkin his second win of the season and absolutely give that 23 team the title. A dominant performance there. And it will be Riley Wilkin celebrating in victory lane with team owner Rose Henson as well as KT Larson. And the 23 of Riley Wilkin gets to celebrate at Iowa. Hayden Mears taking an extra victory lap. He is a Molson Modified champion, so I mean, he may as well. Wilkin's going to bring it on down and go to the victory lane, but pretty calm race for Iowa, and that is thankful after 2 years ago, if you remember the crash with Charles Sanford here, a pretty vicious one in the season finale. Happy to see this race go basically clean except for the Janssen incident. Heartbreaking for Janssen, though. It drops him to 30th in the race with those old tires and a little bit of damage. The DPDS season and Molson Modified titles are finished with Hayden Mears and Riley Wilkin taking home the titles in the MMS and DPDS respectively. Rest of this weekend, the Mountain Dew Custom Series comes back for their 10th race of 14 events here at Chicagoland. You have the Truck Series doubleheader and the Sundrop Cup Series that remain. As it stands, those are the final 3 races for both series before the chase begins, and that will be the point when we figure out who will be title contenders and who will not be as this season goes on. But it's Riley Wilkin, KT Larson, a 1-2 for Henson Racing here. Good race was had. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully to see you at the Chicagoland events. See you guys next time on the NSDCA.